Yeah.
Roll?
Y'all know. Oh no, I'm good, boo. Thank you. I should not eat any candy right now. Not after what I just ate. Rubbing on my Queen Care body butter. This smells so good.
I really do like the pumpkin.
Oh, tell the camera.
I really do like that pumpkin body butter. It's really good. And I don't like pumpkin at all.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Spice latte body butter.
All right,
Care
y'all.
Cosmetics, plug it in.
Plug it in, y'all.
Plug
I'm
it in.
telling you, that body butter is lit. I just put some on. So I have my friend Dom here. Ooh. Also known as Dominique. Would you like to go by a nickname?
No.
Okay. So I'm just sipping my apple juice. And we're having a conversation about men, of course. Like, why wouldn't women talk about men, right? But my friend has actually been married. Hey, Casey. My friend has actually been married. And I wanted her to come on this page because she's young. So, from my two best friends, I had two really close friends in college, undergrad. So, this was one of them, Dominique. You got to come close. This was one of them, Dominique, and then my other friend was Kat. And so both of them were married. So I just felt like when I was in school, I felt so behind because I'm like, dang, they married already. Both of them are like young. You were 20, right?
19.
19. So she was 19 when she got married. My friend Kat, I believe she was 23. So she got married like right after she graduated from undergrad. So out of my like close circle, I was the only one that was not married. But like out of the bigger circle with like all my other friends, I was not the only one. But those two were the closest to me. So I wanted to ask you some things that you learned just from being married, what that experience was like. And I just want to let y'all know that her husband was fine as hell. Like, literally, you remember my friend Brooke, and she would always be like, Matt is so fine.
Really?
Yes.
Seriously?
She always said, you don't?
I really don't.
I promise you, she used to say that shit all the time. She'd be like, Dominique's husband is so damn fine. I'd be like, yes, he is. So, yeah, definitely a Marine. They had been together since they were in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were together for years. So just tell me, first of all, at that moment in time, like, why did you decide to get married so early in life? Like, what was that about?
It was about knowing that you were in love and feeling like we're going to get married anyway, so why not do it now? Feeling like you're mature enough and ready to handle being tied down to one person for the rest of your life. When you really love somebody, it can feel like that. It can feel like you will do anything for them. And I feel like that's what it was. Like, you know, some people were against it. Other people were for it. But I feel like we both ultimately were just like, we love each other. Let's do it. And so we did it.
Just being in love.
Yeah, being in love. Young, dumb, and broke. That's what they say.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how long were you two actually in a relationship before you decided to tie the knot?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years, yeah. It's like 2 years in school, 2 years out of school.
Got you. Okay, and so total, how long was your complete relationship? Like, you were together 4 years before the marriage, 8 years married.
No, 8 years together total. So we spent like three and a half married. Almost made it to 4. It would have been in like 5 months. But shit happens.
Right. So tell me, like, your thought process when you first got married and like y'all were making plans and stuff together, because I know you're a planner.
Yeah.
Like, what was your initial idea for the relationship?
Well, you always think get married, buy a house, get a dog, have a baby, buy a minivan. Like, but his job made it a lot and a little different at the same time. It was still the same in retrospect to just being a wife and being there for your husband, but some of the times with him being gone, or just the times that he would have to work if he was there but not really there, and just even being like on a military base, it's like a completely different world. Aside from just a military city, period. Like, so different from Durham, considering I never lived anywhere else before I moved there.
Right.
But
hey, Liv Lux, I love you too, girl.
I just imagine that I would just be honestly catering to his needs while doing what I was doing or whatever I was trying to do at the same time. Trying to finish school, at some points trying to have a baby, but just always making sure he had what he needed. Since he was the one working, bringing in majority of the money, the reason why we were even having majority of the things that we had was because he chose to do what he did. So I just tried to make it easier because it was already hard as it was.
What was hard about it?
Just like joining the service, you give up that free will, I feel like, in a sense. Which is why I feel like I never could, because I just don't really see myself allowing somebody else to always dictate what I have to do. In a sense, not always, but as far as work and knowing that you can't call out, there is no don't show up, there is no somebody covering your shift, like, you know.
It's the military, so you gotta go.
Yeah, like you have to go. So when he had to leave for months, he was gone. When he was in the field for weeks, he was gone. When we had to find extra money to buy this gear, we just had to find it. And, you know, give me your truck because I need it today, so I'm driving the other car. Like, just always trying to make sure that he needed whatever he needed to do his job, because that kind of what was carrying everything.
Right.
He couldn't get any bad rep because then we would be homeless.
Oh my God. She said, oh, you're so awesome, love. I like the kitty ears. Save this video if you can. I'll do that. So you were dating a military man. Now, just to let y'all know, I always told her this. I'm like, I've always wanted a man in the military because my dad was in the Marine Corps. So, like, I've always thought that I would be marrying a Marine. I don't know if it's going to happen. It could. But this is just an insight as to what that life was like as a young military wife. So, as you can hear, he could not call out. He had to go. Or he could risk not being able to make enough money to take care of his family, which was his lovely wife. And that's major. And that's also something to carry mentally when you're thinking about, wow, my man really can't be here. Like, just like how a lot of richer men, like businessmen, they can't be home. They have to go work. They have to grind. They have to make connections. So it's very similar to the military in that it's demanding as far as your time goes and your energy. And so that's where your resources are going because you signed a contract. So it's literally like you're signing your life over to this institution. So for you, you say that's not something that you would do, but like as far as each other's lifestyle choices and things, do you feel like y'all were on the same page?
Maybe about 50% of the time. I was definitely, I mean, we were complete opposites from the beginning. Mm-hmm. You know, he was quiet to himself, focused on, you know, JROTC, schoolwork, working, wasn't big on friends, football games, social media. You know, we were different, but I liked that. I didn't like somebody that would have been completely obsessed with things that I may have liked even more because I felt like, well, that would make them even worse than how I can be sometimes. So opposites attract. He leveled me out. So we would see eye to eye on things that didn't have a gray area, paying the bills, how to handle this. But when it would come to, well, I want to go home and visit, or, possibly taking a particular job opportunity, or, wanting to get something that we really didn't have a need for. Like, there be things we bump our heads on. But 9 times out of 10, we were almost living in like this routine. Like, I get up, make you your breakfast, pack your lunch, you go to work, I may go to work. I'll probably get home before you, probably cook whatever marinated the night before, then you come home, take a shower, we eat. Like, it was kind of like a, same day type thing, which is kind of what I feel like marriage turns into, and you just have to find a way to keep it fresh. And people who go 40, 50 years find a way to do that, but sometimes they still do the same things they were doing when they were 20. So it was a nice routine. Like, I was comfortable with it. I think I was a good housewife.
Yeah, that housewife life is different. I mean, I've never been a formal wife, but I've been a girlfriend with a man who was taking care of the bills. And so, like, that aspect of, like, being able to wake up in the morning, make their breakfast, like, make sure they have their lunch before they leave, that's one of the best feelings. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, it just feels like you're important, like they need you for something, and you're getting them off to a good start so that they can be free and, like, feel less stressed during their day. So that's a really good feeling. But for myself, I just didn't like the aspect of doing all of this stuff and I was not a wife. Like, for me, it was like, I'm not doing that again, And so that's why I have the mindset that I have now as far as dating goes. I'm not doing anything that a wife would do. I'm going to play my position as your girlfriend or as a companion, but I'm not going to overexert myself and start doing things as if I have a ring on my left finger because this finger's empty. So that was that. But it is a good feeling. It's nice to come home to somebody. It's nice to know that this man has your back, that he's in your corner, and that you two it's a partnership. Like, it really is. Like, y'all have to run a house together. So figuring out who does what duties, I like the manly aspect, as Dominique mentioned, he leveled me out like we were total opposites. That's how it should be in a relationship. Everybody's always like, oh, we need to have things in common. And that's true. Maybe having the same religion if you're a spiritual person, maybe having the same values when it comes to, like, valuing family and, like, going to family functions and things of that nature. You need that. If you're a family-oriented person, you don't need a man who's like, oh, I hate my family, I don't F with them. They were terrible when I was growing up. Like, maybe that's not the person you want to marry because he doesn't have the same outlook on family. He could take it or leave it, But when it comes to personality types, like, you're like, oh, well, he's not as talkative. A lot of men are not. And even in the segment that I did with Lizzie K, we were talking about the biological differences between men and women. So those differences are real. Like, men are not going to talk. Men don't express their emotions the same. Everything is different. So you have to understand that. As a woman, I don't want my man to have the same qualities as me. That would be a huge problem. So talk to them about something that you learned. Give us 3 things. I think 3 is the magic number. Give us 3 things that you learn as a wife.
I would have to say number 1 would be to listen. I feel like I'm a better listener now than I was then.
Hey, Tropicana.
And I feel like had I listened back then a little bit better, things could have possibly changed. But you can never 100% say that. But just really listening, not letting it, like, go out of when we're go in one ear and out of the other. Like to really listen to what they're saying. And if you don't understand, get them to break it down so that you do understand. So that when you have a conversation about something, you can have a clear understanding of it so that it's not a conversation that you're continuing to have about the same thing.
Right.
I feel like that came up in our kind of final conversation, the last conversation. Like
when it was
we're done.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I've told you things and you haven't changed. Which, in the beginning you could say, oh, well, I'm different. Or, oh, you never said. Or, oh, love me the way I am. But if somebody's really telling you something and they claim they told you multiple times and you're not changing, then it may actually be something wrong there. So I would say listen. Number 2, I would say, I just learned a lot about myself. Going through something like that, being in a relationship, let alone a marriage. And I feel like myself, believing that this was till death do us part. This is through thick and thin, through health and sickness, ups and downs. Like this was supposed to last. So if we're now calling it quits, then what does that mean? Am I not as strong as I thought I was? I thought this was my soulmate. I'm not going to find one. But the few months that I spent by myself until I came home, well, with Tyson, but by myself.
Tyson is the dog, ladies.
Tyson's my dog, yeah. But I just learned a lot about myself. And there were some things that I evaluated that I was like, you know what? I haven't really changed. This is still something that high school or college Dominique would do, not a married Marine's wife would do. But then there were some things that I would like, this is me. There is no changing it. This is how I was, and this is probably how I'm gonna be. But not putting blame or fault anywhere, but just understanding that, some things should have changed that definitely didn't, but there are some things that aren't gonna change and they never will. So just a lot of self-reflection taught me just a lot about myself, and it changed how I want to move forward in a relationship.
Okay.
And it's been working pretty well so far. And I would say 3, it taught me acceptance. And I feel like that's really a big thing. Like coming home from a divorce, and I feel like moving into my apartment a couple months ago, just like were big transformations in my life.
It like solidified.
Things changed about me in a way that I know I'm never going to go back to. Like, you're angry in the beginning, or at least I was, with the way things went, and they didn't go super horrible. It wasn't, infidelity or anything like that. But just to really detach yourself from somebody you've been connected to for 7-8 years, like, that's a big blow. And then to still only be 23, like, I was so young, but it felt like forever. It felt like forever. I'm like, we've been together forever, so how am I supposed to go on? How am I supposed to do what I want to do? What is what I want to do? It's always what we
want to
do. So just finally accepting things for what they are, not trying to force it when clearly it's not meant to be. We did the whole back and forth for a couple months. So I love you, I'm leaving. I love you, I'm leaving. I was just like, look, if you want to leave, leave. Don't worry about what's going to happen to me. Don't worry about the car. Don't worry about the dog. Don't worry about the couch. Don't worry about it, because it's not going to be your issue anymore. Like, I have to figure out what I'm going to do, and you're going to do whatever you need to do. Of course, he was in a better position than I was. I wasn't prepared to have to come home and start over. And it took 3 years for me to get to where I got to. And I had to stop beating myself up about it when it didn't happen in 6 months or a year or a year and a half. Then when it finally happened, it meant so much more because I really took the time to do it the right way. So,
go a little bit into that part. Like, you mentioned that he was the primary, breadwinner in your marriage. So, did you save money while you were in the relationship, or
No. Like, I mean, it really kind of flipped everything upside down as soon as it was confirmed, like, hey, we're gonna be done. Like, we're officially I'm gonna go to whoever I need to go to, file papers, you need this, we'll like, I was like, I really don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I was just like, I know I have to go back home. I don't have any money to stay here. The job I was working didn't pay enough. I have a best friend there that was like, you can come stay with me and work till you get enough money. But I knew at that time I didn't want to put...
She laughing because you said no.
No.
She said self-reflection is so crucial. No, she said self-reflection. Then she said self-reflection is so crucial towards moving forward to a greater chapter in your life. Whatever is meant to be is meant to be. That's all part of self-growth and learning more about which is the best way to maneuver through life. That's true. But one thing I always tell my ladies on this platform is that even when you have a man that's providing, you need to save money.
Yeah.
And if I didn't do that, like, because I know when me and my ex broke up, the guy, he literally called. Like, I was telling her about him sending me money a couple weeks ago, and he literally called while we were in the car, and she was cracking up the whole time because I'm like, I told you I only accept apologies in cash, and she knows, like, I'm not gonna date him anymore, but he just still calls and sends money and wants to be back in the picture. So it was really funny, but I digress. Anyway, I always tell the ladies, like, save money, because in these relationships, if I didn't put any money up, I would have been SOL. Do you hear me? I would have been SOL, but I got that from my Nana because she's old school. And I've always heard that women need to stash money, Yes, you said it. Save a set percentage of your money. Absolutely. And for me, to be honest, most of the time in my relationships, like, I didn't even have a job. Only because I wanted to focus on, like, business. And when I was with Corrine, I was in school. Right. So that was even before the business. But it was like there was other things that I needed to focus on. Like, I was trying to get my undergrad degree. So I wasn't really working like that. But when I did have a job, I was putting money up. Right. Like, so if anything happened to his check, like, let's say, okay, between checks, he paid his car payment, he paid the rent, he paid insurance, and did da-da-da-da, and he's, like, sort of short on gas money. I'm like, well, here, babe, here's $20. You get what I'm saying? Like, you are that backbone. And I don't see anything wrong with giving my man $20 to go to work when he's paying all of the bills. This is not like me, oh, here's $500 so you can go to Vegas with your best friends. Like, that's not that kind of party. Right. Or, oh, here's $100 because you didn't have enough money for the light bill that month. Like, he already knew what it was. You come home with that rent late, we're going to have a problem. So he never did it. And I used to lie. I'd be like, if you don't pay the rent on time, you're going to be homeless. Like, I know good and well I'm not even that type of person. But that's what it was. Hugs to your Nana. Oh, thank you. God rest her soul. I miss her so much. But she was bomb. You hear me? But yeah, you do. You got to save your money. When you do have a job, you got to be investing part of it, and you also have to be putting part of your money in a savings account. Now, did I tell my man how much money I had? No, I did not. You gonna be homeless? Right. I'll be like, you gonna be homeless now. You gonna have to get out. Right, because that's the only way.
That's the only way they act right, though. You got to threaten them with something. And
yes.
That's how part of you knows, like, should I really even be fucking with you if I threaten you and you really get, like, scared? Like, damn, you ain't got nowhere to go. You got no backup plan. Like, oh, I don't know if I want a nigga that's gonna be like, fuck this shit. Be like, no, come back. Wait, you want to stay a little while?
We are not doing but you want a man who's self-sufficient.
Yeah, like, I don't want none of you. Please, babe, don't throw me me out. I promise I didn't.
He didn't even say anything. Y'all, I BS you not. I know I probably said this a million times, but when I told him, I'm like, all right, if you want to come stay here, that's cool, but you got to pay all the bills. And when he got there, he got 3 jobs. I lie to you not. He worked at a car dealership. He was selling used cars. He was a janitor somewhere else for like some family-owned business. Not his family, somebody else's family. And then he was a Pizza Hut delivery driver. And that was it. She said that's a good one. It's real though. Like, and this is coming from a married woman. You gotta threaten them sometimes. But it's real. And that just goes back to having standards. Like, you have to have standards for yourself, because that's the only way a man is gonna follow, you know, what you say. When you have stipulations but you're always wavering, or you say, oh well, I don't have sex before 6 months, and then on month 5 you're like, I can't take it anymore. He doesn't, like, they listen to stuff like that. They are listening to you, so you gotta watch what you say. If I say anything, even if I didn't mean it, I'm sticking to it. Straight up, like, I meant that, you know, because men are very concrete. They're logical thinkers. So you just have to know who you're dealing with, you know. So, one last question. Oh, Lord. If you could do it all over again, like start the marriage over, start the relationship over, would you have done anything differently?
Yeah, I can't 100% pinpoint what. I think, like, it like depends. It's like, if I could know what was gonna, you know how sometimes it's like, oh, if you could know everything you know within the past 10 years. Like, to know if I do it this way, this is gonna cause this. I would, like, change certain decisions. I would have just done certain things differently to really mold myself into a better wife, because I learned at the end of it, marriage is really about merging into one. Even though you're still 2 separate people, you'll always be 2 separate people, but you're using the better parts of each of you to just be this one person
and move as a unit.
Yeah, and at times I was just too caught up and still just wanting to be a Dominique and not really taking on the misses that was put in front of it, because when you add a missus, you're basically a representation of the mister.
Right.
So some of the things that I still felt like I should be able to do, I want to do, and I'm gonna do, I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have done.
Right.
If I was really being true to what I really signed up to be. You know, there's a lot of things that I had to give up that I felt like I wasn't ready to give up, that I probably definitely should have given
like
up.
Like partying?
Yeah, or just wanting to go home whenever I wanted to, or sometimes I would get frustrated with the job and just like quit. Because I'm like, I know you make enough, and I'm doing the books, so I know you make enough. Like, I'm serious. Every 1st and 15th, I was in there checking how much hit, transferring it, logging into this account, paying. I did that. You didn't have to worry about nothing being cut off, because I made sure they were paid. Even if it wasn't my check, I'm going to send the money where it need to go. Who do you think created the logins? Me. My passwords, my birth dates, my name on the light bill. It might not be my money, but my name's on it. So I'm getting my credit score worked up either way. But, you know, I would definitely make different decisions that would better that would have brought he and I closer. I would have been submissive in more areas where I was still just focused on being just me.
Oh,
it wasn't just about me. Yeah, you gotta submit. It's not just about, and it's not about giving up who you are. It's just about transforming into a better you to be with this person for the rest of your life, if that's what you say you want.
Right. Yeah, there is definitely an aspect of sacrifice when you're in a committed relationship, and it can be difficult. For me, the only thing that was difficult for me about being in a relationship is just the character flaws. Like, you have to have a certain type of character to be with me. And that's really the only thing that would make me end a relationship with you, is if I felt like, okay, this man's character is not marriage material. Like, you can't be my husband, so we got to cut ties. But there is an aspect of that submission, you know, you having to listen to what they say. not in a sense of where you feel like a child, but where y'all come to an agreement and say, well, this is the direction that we're headed in, so this is what I need from you in order for us to make that happen. And then, like she said, using their finances and putting it where it needed to go, because my man didn't pay bills either. Like, he came home with the money, put it in my hand, and I allocated it. So being a good steward over your money is huge, because if you don't know how to manage your finances, how can a man trust you with that? And then if a man is paying all the bills and he's handling the finances, like, that should feel uncomfortable for you, because you don't know where everything is going. You don't know if everything is being paid.
No, I know it's being paid because I paid it.
She said, "In love, I am terribly sorry about the loss of your Nana. I can totally relate because I lost my granny back in December 2017. Oh, you said it about submission. Commitment correlates to submission. Absolutely." She says, submit to a provider, man. That part.
I mean, he was. I mean, he definitely is the one person who, like, truly took care of me. Like, he would probably say that about me today. Like, I took care of him. There's no question about it. Yeah, we bumped heads and had arguments and fights, and obviously eventually ended, but, like, I'm up in the morning making your meals. When he wanted to bodybuild, buying all his eggs and chicken and cooking rice, and who you think was doing that?
I remember that phase.
Yeah, because that's what you wanted to do, and that made you happy, and that was a goal of yours. So I'm in the kitchen for 3 hours cooking chicken, rice, and sweet potatoes and eggs and portioning oatmeal and all this extra stuff on top of cooking dinner, because anybody that knows my ex-husband knows that he could eat. He was 6'2". He could eat. So I'm cooking dinner almost every night. Got a dog. Got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. I'm keeping clean. Like, it's a lot that goes into being a housewife. People really, that cleaning, cooking, taking care of the kids, pets type, it gets tiring. It's tiring. And then there were phases where I did work as well. It's not like I didn't work the entire marriage. I worked. I did school. So I'm like, I'm doing all of that and making sure you got everything you need to get up at 5 a.m. and be to work at 6 and do everything that was going on in the service. So it was so much more than just, oh, we married, so now we can just live together and have sex whenever we want to. Like, it was deeper than that.
It is
so much deeper.
See,
than
those serious relationships, they get real, yo. Like,
they really
and
do.
the emotions are different. It's not like a regular relationship. Is not just like, oh, this is my girlfriend or my boyfriend or whatever. It's like, we're family. We live together. Like, we're making moves. We have property, or we have, some type of something with both of our names on it. Like, this stuff is serious.
We bought that
cooking
house.
is so time consuming. Men must understand why our roles belong in the home. Yes, y'all. Like, it's real. That's why I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy having my brands. I also enjoy my job, because that's what I went to school for. I studied for it. So I want to do it, but I don't ever want to be forced to work. Like, my money, I want it to be my money. I don't want to have to contribute to the household. Like, that's not my responsibility. So I would never marry a man who would force me into that kind of position. And I've had friends who were forced into that. As a matter of fact, the other friend that I was talking about that got married, do you know that this man quit his job and had her paying for everything?
And what was he doing all day?
Nothing. He was at home.
You lying.
I'm so serious. He would take her car, drop her off at work, and and go just do whatever he wanted to do. And she was doing that for like a year, over a year. And then they eventually divorced, but she was so stressed out. Like, I just remember her like crying, and she's like, I'm really trying to stay in this marriage. Like, I love my husband, but I can't do this. And the name of his game was, oh, well, I have these aspirations and these goals. So, like, basically, why don't you just hold me down until I can get my career and my business off of the ground? And that is just loser behavior. Like, you can't do that. You can work on a business at the same time, but don't ever leave a woman to fend for herself. Like, oh, now you have to pay all the bills. That is crazy to me. So they live two completely different lives, but they both did get married very young. But I'm going to close this out, you know, so I can enjoy the rest of the time with my friend. But I appreciate each of you for tuning in tonight. I know it's super late. You're probably like, why is Love going live right now? I felt compelled, and I did ask her permission first. I was like, can you just shed some light, you know, on what that married life is like, because that's just one perspective I can't give y'all. Like, I can talk to you about long-term relationships. I can talk to you about boyfriends. I can talk to you about being spoiled, because I'm definitely that. But I just can't tell you about marriage because I've never been married. Oh, one more thing. My friend,
oh Lord,
got me a housewarming gift, and she was like, when are you gonna open it? So first of all, I needed this right here. This is a calendar. It's like a scheduler basically, and I love it. Like, I seriously did want one of these. I've been planning on getting one. She just reads my mind, y'all. She reads my mind and my heart. So what else is in here? Oh my God. She got me some incense.
Burn them and relax.
So my house can smell good and stuff. Oh my God. She said, certainly it is not our responsibility to fork out our savings stash to finance an ends roll. No. Good night, ladies. I really appreciate you guys coming live at this hour. Oh, my pleasure. You are so sweet. Like, she's so nice. Oh my God.
You like it?
Yes.
I took a wild guess. I was like, I think she'll like this.
It's so chill, like
very relaxing.
It's a relaxed vibe. What does this smell?
Girl, don't give me a line. I'll have to go back and double check.
Wild berry?
No. That's just what the bag said. It's
oh my God.
It's something
wild berry incense.
No, it's just the bag. I promise you. That's
the brand.
Yeah, it's not the smell at all. I'm gonna go back and double check because I got a couple from you too when I was in there. But I didn't know if you burnt incense or not. But
I do.
I ain't had time to go by Bath and Body Works for candles, or I would have got you those. You know those always on sale.
Oh yeah, they do. Oh my God.
So when you was like, oh, I'm gonna go get my slippers, I was like,
y'all, and I love purple.
I know this.
She said your friend loves you. Yes, she does. How you know, girl? So these are my slippers, like my purple slippers.
This is cute though.
I love these. I got these from my friend Yaya. And that was for my housewarming gift too. And this is another housewarming gift. These, it says warming slipper pair. So it says lavender scent relaxes and calms your senses. Incredibly soft slippers soothe and comfort your feet. So they are very plush, as you can see. These are so cute.
And you can warm them up to make them like warm and put them on your feet.
Oh my gosh. I can put my shoes in the microwave, y'all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that was so sweet.
Of course.
Okay, I've literally known her since, what year? 2012?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've been friends for like 8 years, y'all. I love it. So yes, these were my housewarming gifts.
Yeah, one more.
Is it?
It's little, yeah.
Hold on. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I was like, just some pins.
Those are so cute.
I thought they were cute.
They're like
nobody can try to steal them because I know they ain't got them pins.
They have gold accents.
No black big pin. That's a customized pen. Can't say that's your pen because you know
yes,
it's not.
I love and these are so girly. Like
I
she
know
knows my personality.
writing notes and stuff, writing stuff down. Hold on, let me get a pen.
Literally. Mm-hmm. No, she knows me like the back of her hand because I seriously have 3 notebooks right here.
That's why I didn't even buy no notebook.
With
I was
some
like,
pens.
she got about 10 at the house, so I ain't gonna buy a notebook. But
girl, probably
people
more
always run out of pens. Never had too many pens.
Oh my God! Now these are cute. I was thoroughly surprised. Oh my gosh. So y'all know my love language is definitely receiving gifts. I love it. She said sweet gifts. Yes, they were. So I love y'all so much. Thank you again for being here. And if you made it to the end of this video, please drop a red heart. And thank you, Dominique, for being so willing to be here.
Of course.
And share your experience.
Yeah, I'm a pro at this.
She's an expert. Bye.